winning with the team. Screaming, Vinny, 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 VG. Hear them devils screaming out, bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. I'm a grind, bitch, and work. Sorry, all them lines, it ain't working. You niggas weak, said the church. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. They cross the line, I'm a back up. I'm a hands ass, fire. When I come through 300 strong, 144 years tight. All my niggas weak. In this bitch with the ice. Said all the guys look sweet. Tell you how it's sweet. When nigga made the wrong move, we ain't make his ass obsolete. He ain't one of us hit the lead. He ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All the niggas go retreat. I keep it low to the T. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck. And my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. They come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You saw this cotton just an actor. Uncle Phil with it. And then my targets on the move.
Start. All right, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the Commander Junior Hunter. Today is the ISUPK's Austin's Monday History Breakdown class. For today's class, we're going to be going over the Native Americans and to prove to you how they are Israelites. Being for one reason, is like a lot of people out here who claim they know the truth want to say that all the Israelites are Negroes. Why? Because they are colorists. But we all know color doesn't matter who you are. It matters about who your father is. Right? So the Native Americans are Israelites. We're going to go into a couple different topics to prove it. I'm going to pull up these slides so you can see it. All right. Let's see. You online? Let's see if it's on there. Tell me if it's on there. All right, all right. So first, we're going to be talking about Christopher Columbus knowing who these people was, right? And next, we're going to be talking about the Bering Strait. We're going to debunk that, but how a lot of people want to claim that these people come from a different place. These people did not come from the East. These people did not come from Israel, right? We're going to then talk about. We're going to show how Native Americans actually kept the law, their cultures, and the things they did while they was living here, right? Then we're gonna get into some artifacts they found, right? All right. Gonna start with Christopher Columbus knew, right? I'm gonna read what it says right here. It says, on his voyage to the New World, Columbus took with him Luis de Torres, an interpreter who spoke Hebrew. De Torres was a Jew who was baptized shortly before Columbus' mission. Now, of course, when it says Jew, it means of Jewish faith. These are people who converted into Jewish faith, right? Now they not knowing the truth, right? In the truth, right, we understand that people can't convert. So the Jewish man over there, well, he's a fake, right? De Torres was a Jew who was baptized shortly before Columbus' mission, so he would be eligible to participate. If Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter, he must have expected to encounter Hebrew-speaking people along the way, perhaps members of the 10 Laws tribes. Perhaps the hunted Jews of Spain could then find a haven with their co-religions and their Orients. The reason why I'm saying to find a haven with their co-religiousness, because they want to make it seem like this trip was about free Jerusalem to find their friends. That's how they was able to do it. Like they just want to find the people who had the same exact faith as them, right? But as you know, right now, time we're living in, that was not what it was about. He got there and slaughtered these people. That's what it was about. Taking what they had, right? Go to the next slide. Right? Now, this is a book. This is a little passage from We Came from the East by Captain Kataza. Go ahead and buy that book. It's an amazing book, right? All right, page 24 reads, a striking element in Columbus' geographical religiosity is his intense and abiding interest in the 4th or 2nd book of Esdras. The 2 apocryphal books of Esdras purport to be additional writings by and about the Old Testament Ezra, but the 2nd or 4th book is a piece of full-fledged Hellenistic apocalyptic writing that was often regarded with suspicion by the church and just as often embraced by the heterodox. Augustine has given guarded approval to Ezra's prophetic claims, and much was always to be made of this by the letter's defenders, including Columbus. In the marginal notes to Columbus' copy of the Ally is a relatively lengthy discourse of Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 42. So what this is basically saying is that Columbus knew exactly where he's going and who he was going to find. Why? Because he read out the Apocrypha, right? The books that I believe it was 14 books they took out, right? Or 12 books, right. 14 books they took out the 1611 King James Bible, right? But it has the history of the Greek captivity, right? It's the right before the end of the Old Testament, before the New Testament, right? And they took that out. Now, him being somebody of the Jewish faith, right? He knew what to read, and he read this, and he studied this, and he studied the prophecies and studied what it was talking about, how these 10 lost tribes went somewhere, right? They went somewhere to live a better life. Matter of fact, we're gonna get the scripture. I gotta skip the slide. This is the next slide. Matter of fact, let me see. I might go forward a little bit. All right, you got Apocrypha? Can you get Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 40?
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king.
Right, this time of the Assyrian Empire, the Assyrian captivity. These are 10 tribes that got carried away, right? You had the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom. The northern kingdom got carried away, right? The 10 lost tribes, right? It's talking about. Keep reading.
Whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
The king of Assyria, right? Keep going.
And he carried them over the waters.
Right.
And they came, and so came they into another land.
All right, keep reading.
Verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of heathens and go forth into a further country, which never mankind dwelt.
Right. So they want to leave the heathen. Now, if everybody understood that God loved everybody, why are they trying to leave these people?
Right.
Why they are trying to separate and go to another country that nobody dwelt? Because they understood that it was hard to keep their law, statute, commandments with the heathen keep on inflicting them. The heathen keep on trying to mess with them when they try to do certain laws, or them just having certain people that's weak in their nation that can't control themselves. Just like today, we have people right now that would never know sin if it wasn't for America.
Right.
We would never eat pork if it wasn't given to them. Got some people who don't really eat pork, but they just go and get it because it's right then and there. So just imagine if our people were just ruling this place. Nobody can't even go in there and try to go buy pork because it wouldn't be on the shelves, right? So the only way they had to do this is what? To make sure the whole people was good, everybody was good. They had to separate. The same exact thing that we telling right now, the same thing they understood back then. In order for them to keep their law, statute, commandments, they had to separate from the oppressor. Keep reading.
Verse 42. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Right. They never kept their own statute in their own land. Why? I just broke it down, right? It's hard to keep your law, statute, commandments when you are being oppressed by the heathen. Just like in America, right? We all know his law, statute, commandments are not grievous, but America sure makes them try to be grievous. They make it even back in the Greeks, man, they made it so much so that you had to sacrifice the pork. If you didn't sacrifice the pork, you would die. Back then, they used to have to either die or serve God, right? So now we're in a position where nobody's trying to go out there and kill us for serving God. So what's our excuse, right? But back then, they really couldn't even serve their God without have to die, right? Die, literally. Have their babies around their necks.
That's right.
You circumcise your baby on the 8th day, they killing your child for serving God, right? This shows how much this man has been wicked since the beginning of time. People want to act like just now white society is bad. Just now. We even go back into the time of the Amalekites. We going through their land trying to get to the promised land. With our military, they come and they done killed our women. They killed the old and the children in the back.
That's right.
That's what they did. Now look at where we at right now. Let me get that scripture real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. Right? We gotta understand these people don't care about how old you are, how young you are, right? They will kill you. And that's what you seen. What was it like? What was it like 3 days ago? 2 days ago with the shooting?
Right.
That's what happened. Majority of the people that died was older than their 50s.
Right.
Helpless people, like just not doing nothing, staying out the way, going to a grocery store, right?
Right.
A grocery store. That's what these people do. And it was so much as a kid that did it. They won't call him a kid. He's like 18, 19 years old. And shot them people up, man. You want to say why we say separate? And the crazy part about it is that they're going to say that he was pleading. He's going to plead insanity. Oh, he's just going through something. And the sad thing about it is, when they arrested him, it was like they was protecting him. You got black people down there dead, man. Dead from just going there to buy food. And you know the sad part about it was, majority of the people who died probably was Christians.
Right.
So what Christianity's not gonna save you. What was Christianity at there when it was getting gunned down, man?
Right.
You got that scripture?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8. Chapter 28, verse 50.
Mm-hmm.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
Right, man. Now we all know Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, we show favor to the old and young. We respect the elders. We treat our kids good. We do that. But these people, you think it's even as if you're going to kill people, man, like, and you go on wars, people, you don't try to go kill the elderly or the kids. Those are people you spare. These people, man, this is the people they target. And show you why the Lord got to destroy these people, man. Right. These people don't come after people who's on their level. They're always picking on the person who don't have any help. America's a bully. The Lord, he's the bullies. He's the bully of bullies. He's gonna show them, man. All right, let's get back to Second Ezra. I don't get too much off topic. My damn, they teach a law class.
It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 43.
Mm-hmm.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 44.
Mm-hmm.
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and he held still the flood till they were passed over. Mm-hmm. Verse 45.
Flood. Anybody know what flood mean? Flood? Nobody? It's waters. It just means waters. So you should have said what you thought, man. All right, keep going.
Verse 45. For through the country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same religion is called Assyrians. Region? So
Right.
The same region is called Assyrians.
Which just mean a land, right? Now, one thing we gotta understand is that even people, how you call them? Like scholars with history, right? Like up there, they already know that they say the Bible is their go-to point to see if stuff is true, to line stuff up. So we know the Bible, you gotta go through the Bible to fact check everything, right? So now we're finna get into the Bear and Straight theory because they want to say that these people came from a different place. We just read out the Apocrypha where these lost 10 tribes came from, right? Now the Bible is the book that's ahead of its time. Like you don't fact check the Bible fact check what you look researching. Real talk. All right. We're gonna Bear and Straight there, right? The general scientific conscience, say that right, is that a single wave of people crossed a long vanished land bridge from Siberia into Alaska around 13,000 years ago. So that's what it is. They say that a bridge that don't exist no more, that these people came from Siberia and boom, went into Alaska, then they dealt in America. They try to say this for they can have the white man said this for the reason of saying that to deem him taking the land over as, how would they call it? As righteous, as it doesn't matter. Because these people went through these land bridges, right? All right, right there. All right, now we just read it at Arzareth, right? This is a Jewish encyclopedia, right? It says the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, right? Observing the law of Moses, right? And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into how these people actually kept the law. Why? Because they are the children of Israel. Keeping the law is our culture. Reason why when we say the law is done away with, we black Hispanic Native Americans, we don't have no culture. The law is done away with, we have no culture. And that's how we get stuck up in all these different religions and stuck up in all these different other cultures, these African cultures. We start putting on dashikis just for something, right? All right, okay. The law of Moses until the time of the restoration, according to 2nd Esdras chapter 13, verse 45. Columbus identified America with this land, right? Now, this is a Jewish encyclopedia, right? So all the stuff you heard about Columbus was what? A lie.
Damn right.
You heard, what they teach you about Columbus? They teach you in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue to prove that the earth was not flat. That's what they teach us in school. They teach our children that. That's why I say they go after your children while they're young. We are brainwashed not just from overnight, but from a series of the school system that allow us to believe in all these different lies.
Right.
We're never gonna question nothing when they told us that Christopher Columbus was just seeing that the world was flat. That sounds reasonable. Yeah, back then they was dumb. It sound reasonable to go sail, right? They don't teach us that. On another point about it is they teach our children that we all one people. So we all want people that we are American. And when they teach that we are American, it's more easy to celebrate Christopher Columbus Day because he found the land that we dwell. If we knew who he was, if we knew that the Native Americans was our brothers, we was a family, we knew what happened to them, it would make us feel some type of way. We would start siding with the Native Americans. We would start identifying the enemy. But now that we are Americans, we started letting the Native Americans as enemies because they was living on our land. So much so, that's why they had a lot of propaganda. You know, if you ever see Native Americans, y'all always see them, the drawings with them naked. Now, our culture is not to have all women naked, all men with their nakedness out. So why they paint them naked? Propaganda. To make these people, so for you to take out that feeling, when they kill these people, you won't have no feeling about it. But they can take that feeling away of being sad. You're going to be like, well, they are savages. They are Indians, right? Just like right now. A black man get pulled down and get shot down, they're gonna say, well, you know, he was gang banging.
Right.
He did have an illegal gun. You know, he was an illegal immigrant. That's what they tell Mexican brothers. Same thing they did with the Native Americans. You gotta change the image of a people to make it better fit for them to do what they do. Right? For them to kill, rape, lynch, murder all our people, they gotta make us as the enemy. They gotta make it as if we deserved it. Right? Now, it's like when white people say, when we say that white people gonna go in chains, right? Everybody should believe that karma, right? What goes around comes around.
Right.
Everybody should believe that.
That's right.
We said white people gonna go in chains. They're like, well, not all white people bad. So when they say that, are you applying that black people went into slavery because we was bad? That we was criminals, that's why you enslaved us? That's what they're implying, that you only should be enslaved if you are bad people.
Right.
Come on, man. All right. All right. Now we finna get into how the Native Americans actually kept the law like we just read, right? They kept the law of Moses. Why? Because they are the children of Israel, right? It says, this is the history of the American Indians by James Adar, right? We're going to read a little bit about him. James Adar, in 1709 and 1783, was a native of County Antrim, Ireland, who went to North America and became a trader with the Native Americans, right? With the Native Americans of the southeastern woodlands from 1735, he resided there for 40 years and was almost entirely cut off from the outside world. 1744, he resided chiefly among the Chickasaw, right? Now, he dwelt with these people. He studied these people, right? So he studied these people. So we're going to see what he studied, right? All right, this it says the Indian tradition says that their forefathers were possessed of an extraordinary divine spirit by which they foretold things future, right? And controlled the common course of nature. And this they transmitted to their offspring, provided they obeyed the sacred laws annexed to it. So what they saying is that they had the spiritual power they possessed. They was able to prophesy in the future as long as they kept the laws that's annexed to it. That's what they were saying. It was passed on to their children. So they were saying they come from a line of priests and prophets. And it says their forefathers were possessed of an extraordinary divine spirit, the Holy Spirit. We was God's chosen people. That's who we was. And these people knew that. Why they knew that? Because the whole reason why they left was to do that, to keep the law. Why would they come in? Why they would come down here why would they leave to say they was going to keep the law, not to keep the law? Right? Now we're gonna get in the land of refuge, right? The land of refuge is another law in the Bible. We're gonna get into how the Native Americans actually kept that law as well, right? It says the page 165, the history of the American Indians, right? Like the present Jews, their old men are tenacious of their ancient rites and customs, imagining them to be the sure channel through which all temporal good things flow to them, and by which the opposite evils are averted. So now he's saying the Israelites had cities of refuge, right? Or places of safety for those who killed a person unaware and without design, to shelter them from the bloodthirsty relations of the deceased or the revenger of blood, who always pursued or watched the unfortunate person like a ravenous wolf, right? We'll drop down, says, according to the same particular divine law of mercy, each of these Indian nations have either a house or a town or refuge, which is a sure asylum to protect a manslayer or the unfortunate captive if they could once enter into it. So they enter this land when a man accidentally kills a man that he did not mean to. Something slipped up, something went wrong on the job, something happened. They had a land where they could go to. Now, America, when that boy, who was it? It was I think it was a couple months ago. He had that 18-wheeler accident. The brakes went off. He accidentally killed those people, right? Now they gave that man. It's an accident. Right. It's not his fault. The brakes went out. They was going to give that man life.
Yeah, I'm right.
It was going to give that man life. But here we understood something. We understood the spirit about something. Like you kill somebody on accident. Things happen. You have a city of refuge. Why? The way you could protect you from that person, because that person has the right to be angry, right? But we're going to protect you from that, right? All right, can I get Numbers chapter 35, verse 11? Abu Shah.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 11. Then ye shall appoint you cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the slayer may that the slayer may flee there, which killeth any person at unaware.
This is a law of the who? The Israelites. The Native Americans also kept that law. Why? Because they are the Israelites, right? No other nations keeping laws like this. So you kill somebody unaware in this nation, shoot, you gone. Somebody walking the street, that's a manslaughter. Good night. Don't let you be a black man. You going underneath the jail, underneath it, man. All right, they gonna give you the lecture chair about that.
Right.
Verse 12.
Verse 12. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avengers, that the manslayers die not, until he stand before the congregation in judgment.
All right. Okay. Verse 13, last verse, real quick.
And of these cities which ye shall give, 6 cities shall ye have for refuge.
Right, 6 cities you have for refuge. You're just saying that you should have cities for people to go to when they accidentally kill their brother. Right? Not all nations, not everybody, but who? Your nation, your brother. These Native Americans had the exact same thing for who? For who? The people of their nation, man. Right? Let's get down to page 13. Same book. It says, some have supposed the Americans to be descended from the Chinese, but neither their religion, laws, customs, etc., agree in the least with those of the Chinese, which sufficiently proves that they are not of that line. You could tell who people are based on the stuff they do. We know the Chinese are Chinese because they eat bat. Right. They eat bat, and they're responsible for COVID, right? We call them spade a spade, right? You know everybody culture, you know white people why? Because their culture is what? Homosexuality, being pedophiles. That's what they do. Bestiality. That's what pornography. That's what they love to do. That's their culture. And that's the reason why we're dying. We're dying because what's our culture? If you know who your culture is, you got to come out, take other people's culture, bits and pieces of everybody's culture. That's why right now, as Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, we everybody. We everybody because we don't have nothing. We go out there, we go get Chinese letters tattooed on us. We go get Arabic letters tattooed on us. We go serve Allah while we serving the stones. We'll be a Christian who's also a Muslim. We all these different things because they took our culture away from us. But you gotta identify people. You gotta identify people by their culture. And when we get our culture back, you're gonna know who's going to be us. We're gonna be ruling. We're gonna be Yashar Ali. We just gotta take back our culture because everybody else's culture is in vain. But our culture is powerful. Look how much things we make better. We make everybody else's culture better. We make everybody else's culture better. We eat all the abominable foods and we season up good for them. We do everything that we're not supposed to do. We make it better, and that's why it's kind of hard to make it seem like it's sin. Right? It's hard for us to find out that it's sin because we make everything better. But what we need to go do is be to solve the earth to our law, statute, commandments. That's what we need to do. We need to do our law, statute, commandments. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do right and powerful. The Native Americans understood that. That's why they left. They left the heathen. They left the heathen to go do what they had to go do. And we just read before. They said they had sacred power as long as they kept the law. Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, the reason why we without power because we are not keeping the law. We are not keeping our culture. That's right. All right. Page 29, the history of the American Indians, right? It said, had the 9 tribes and half of Israel, which were carried off by Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and settled in Media, right, continued their long. It is very probable that by intermarrying with natives and from the natural fickleness and pronounces to idolatry and the force of example, they would have adopted and bowed before the gods of the Medes and the Assyrians, right, and carried them along with them. But there is not a trace of this idolatry among the Indians. The severe afflictions they underwent in captivity doubtless humbled their hearts. See that? That's what's going on with right now. Their hearts got humbled because they was going through afflictions by the Syrians. Our hearts been humbled. Our minds been humbled to turn back to the Most High God because we are being afflicted by America. And that's what we always to learn. That's what the Most High had to always do for us because we was the Most High. As such a good father, he gave us what we always asked for. When we asked for a king, he gave us a king, even he know that the king wouldn't be good for us. Right. We asked to be like the heathen. We asked to go worship their gods, and he allowed us to. But what happened? We suffered because of it. Because when you serve another nation's God, you will be on the bottom of those people. And that's why all these nations are going to come and serve our God. That's right. All these nations are going to be in heaven, but they're going to be slaves in heaven. Just like we are slaves in America from serving Christianity, serving the white Jesus, Caesar Borgia, or serving Allah, serving against rock. That's why we in captivity right now. And just like then, they said they humbled their hearts for going through this. When we seen that stuff that you see right then, of that boy killing how many people he killed? 8, 10 people? He killed 10 black people. Stuff like that humbles our hearts. Stuff like that should make you want to change your life so you could save your brothers, save your sisters. Because if you ain't changing your life, you are going to be responsible for more deaths for the Most High can humble our hearts. Or you can change right now. You can stop the death. You can stop the affliction, right? The Native Americans, they wanted to stop the death and stop the affliction so much so they went across the waters to a place no man ever dwelt to keep their law, statute, and commandments. That's what they did. All we telling you right now, nobody's trying to kill you right now. All you gotta do is start following the law, statute, and commandments. You come to class. Right. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do is come to class. Put down all them holidays, man. Them holidays never did good for you anyway. Christmas just made everybody broke. Thanksgiving, man, you don't even love your family to begin with. Thanksgiving fights, right? Man, you don't want to deal with that, man. What good coming to these holidays, man? People getting divorced because they didn't get a good gift on Valentine's Day. Right. Mothers getting celebrated, even if they're bad mothers, for even aborting their babies, man. But you want us to celebrate Mother's Day, right? That's how far we came, man. Giving up your life is not hard at all. It's not hard at all, right? The Day of Atonement, right? Everybody know the Day of Atonement is, man. You in the truth, you understand what this day is. This is a hard day. You afflict your soul. And I ain't talking about them Ramadan. They just be skipping lunch. Right. And Muslims just skip lunch and swear they afflicting their souls, man. Black and Americans, we skip lunch every day because we're poor. Right. We're broke, man. Don't come over here and talk about you skipping lunch and you serving your God. Because what they do a whole month? We do a whole life, we fast. Whole life, Black and Hispanic Americans, we eat 1 meal a day. We lucky we get some breakfast. Good night. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What you're saying is heavy. It take me back to this. All right, so there's a rapper, Chief Def, that was with Bad Boys. And he said that one of his rhymes, he said he had a cigarette for breakfast, he slept for lunch, he cried for dinner. My life is fucked up.
Real talk, man. Like, real talk. And that's so heavy too.
Just poor. Just
right.
We don't have the funds to eat. It's
right.
Like eat or make it to work the rest of the week.
Real talk.
Eat or keep the damn lights on.
Right.
Go ahead.
And that's how, like he said, like we over here deciding to either eat or pay rent. And that goes deep into why we are so targeted as a people. These people understand that. And that's why they use money to afflict us. They use money to afflict us because they make it seem like we are criminal people just because we don't want to pay tickets. We don't want to pay warrants. When half these people got warrants like it just because they got overdue tickets. Right. If I'm skipping lunch to pay rent, you think I'm gonna have enough money to pay a ticket? Right. You think I got enough money to pay a ticket? Now you go stop me. Now my our tail lights be out. Right. You know I'm driving a hoopty. You know something's gonna be late registration. Something's gonna be messed up. Right. You gonna pull me over and give me another ticket? Then pull me over again and find I got a warrant. Throw me in the jail. Now you throw me in jail. If I can't pay the ticket, I'm gonna pay back bail. Yeah, I'm right. Now I get locked up. I come back. I got no more job. How am I going to pay rent? You know I wasn't gonna be able to pay rent. Now I'm homeless. Now you put your knee on my neck for being homeless. Right. Now you put me back in the jail for not having a place to go. That's why from slavery to the civil to right now, nothing has changed. At all. Because when we got out of slavery, they put us back in slavery for being homeless. Right. You coming 400 years out of slavery, where are you going to go? Then you try to make something, you try to sell something. No, what you at? You got no house? What they call it? Solicit? What they call it? A gas station. Yeah. I ain't gonna butcher that word, but y'all get the point. I ain't gonna butcher that word, but that's what they do. And how we supposed to make a living? I'm just trying to be an entrepreneur. You told me to be an entrepreneur. I'm trying to sell what I got. Right? These bootleg CDs ain't hurting nobody. Right. Shoot. Yeah. You got little Becky over there. In the suburbs. She got all these lemonade stands. I don't see no permit. Right. I don't see no permit, but you're gonna come and lock me up, put your knee on my neck for me because I'm selling cigarettes or something. The cigarettes you gave me, I'm your corner boy. Right. All the black man's gonna do is when he make money is gonna bring it back into the white society. Right. We the number one consumer. So why are you so mad for us spending money towards you? We ain't doing nothing wrong. We are your best employees, your best workers. You give us drugs, we sell drugs, give it back to you. Right. You must be killing us for another reason. Another reason. Why are they killing us? Because we're the children of Israel. Damn right. They are children of Israel. Damn right says they are jealous. I'll be jealous too that if God, the only reason I'm in rulership is because God is punishing these people. Right. That means I got a half-ass rulership. Second choice. Nobody like being a second choice. People get mad. Nobody want to be picked. Like, if I was in your first choice, don't even pick me. Right. That's what's going on right now. They mad. They mad that we got direct line to all power. That's what they mad. They jealous. So much so they had to form Christianity for it and write themselves in the book. Right. They got to come up with a new international version. New Society version. The homosexual version. Go ahead, sis.
Well, that's exactly why they didn't want us reading and writing in the first place.
Right.
Just because they didn't want us to know the truth. They didn't want us to know who we were, and where we come from.
Right. Damn right. Get this in there. That's exactly why. And that's why you had overseers. You go, these Christian churches started, right? They didn't want us to read. It's why people don't always want to say these people want to be like, oh, the Bible, they gave the Bible to us in slavery. They had a slave Bible. You could take any book, and have one side to it and another side to it. Any book, right? They gave us that book and they had to sit in why they had to sit in the church? Why do white people have to sit in the church and watch the sermon and make sure you don't say nothing if the book was for everybody?
Right.
If the book doesn't harm you, Jesus is white, why you gotta watch what I teach? That's why you have brothers like Nat Turner that he started reading for himself.
Damn right.
And he found out the truth. Right? He found out the truth. Yeah. And that's why it's two sides. Don't let nobody come and tell you that this Bible was given to us in slavery.
Damn right.
Why we can't read it? Why we can't? We're not gonna follow that. That's a white book. Show me something white about the Bible. The Bible is Psalms of Solomon chapter 1 verse 10. They had gold chains and grills in their mouth.
Damn right.
We had fried chicken as an offering.
Damn right.
Show me how this, but show me one white thing in this Bible, man. The prophets was finna lay hands on people. If it was a white book, it would say the prophets was finna call the laws on the people, call the cops on the people. Come on, man. Good night. All right, let's go to Day of Atonement, man. All right, we all talk about how we afflict our souls, right? 24 hours, no food, no water.
Right.
Good night, man. Really. Man, then you got to slave the whole day.
Right.
You go to work, and you know, Black man, Native Americans, man, we got some tough jobs. Let me tell you something. My Hispanic brothers, they be out there in the heat on the roof.
Right.
But we still do it. The Black man, we go out there, we in the construction, we do all, man, we knocked out. It's hard. It's hard with food. Good night. All right, so it says, page 62, the history of the American Indians. It says, Nitak Ya'ah signifies a fast day because they were then humbly to say Ah and afflict their souls before Yahweh, right? Afflict their souls. That's what we do. We afflict our souls. Why we afflict our souls? The Day of Atonement is like to represent that. You could go out with food. You could go without food and go without water for 24 hours. You could go without fulfilling your lusts. You could make you want to fight more. You didn't fast it and be like, man, I did this. I could serve God. I could put down the cigarettes, right? I could put down the weed. I could stop celebrating these holidays. I could fight my demons, right? Now, it says there was never any set of people who pursued the Mosaic law of retaliation with such a fixed eagerness as these Americans. They are so determined in this point that formerly a little boy shooting birds in the high and thick cornfields unfortunately chanced slightly to wound another with his childish arrow. The young vindictive fox was excited about custom of watch his was. I'm gonna skip down. Their hearts was at rest by having executed the strong law of nature, and they sported together as before. This observation, though small in itself, is great in its combined circumstances, as it is contrary to the usage of old heathen world. Meaning that these things that it was doing was not of another nation. Like no other heathens did this, but the children of Israel. And the reason why these people are going so hard about it, because they want to prove to God that they could follow the law again. That's the whole point. You're going so hard about the law because you messed up. If you messed up, it's like you trying to show your father that you are worth it again. He done humbled your heart. It's like you coming back to your father. You coming back to your father to show that, and he didn't let you do what you do, but he still opened you back home. With open arms. Like you come back. You come back, so you trying your whole life to please your father. Try your whole life to please your father, right? Now, it says they forgive all crimes at the annual atonement of sins except murder, which is always punished with death, right? So you murder somebody, you still gotta die, right? You still gotta die, right? All right. Can I get Leviticus chapter 23, verse 27? That thing's slow.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 27. Also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you. and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Now we don't do the offering made by fire unto the Lord, because you know why? Anybody know why?
Well,
Go ahead, you go ahead.
Because you're Hawashai.
Because of Yahweh. Always when somebody want to tell you that we can't keep the law, you can't sacrifice. Christ is our sacrifice. Christ was our lamb without blemish, without sin. He never did nothing wrong.
That's right.
Right? So don't ever let somebody say, well, you can't keep the law. You can't, how you need that offering made by fire. You break one law, you break them all. Nah, Christ is our sacrifice, man. Always remember that. Always remember that. Don't say that we can't do it because it's a different time. That's what Christians say. It's a different time right now. It doesn't matter. All the laws we do right here is the same exact things we could did in Jerusalem right now. They also say if we was in our homeland, we could do those things. The exact same stuff we could be doing right here is the exact same stuff we're gonna do in our homeland. Why? Because this is a little sanctuary the Lord done built up. The ISUPK is a little sanctuary. Now, if you're not in the ISUPK, it might be hard for you to keep the law.
Right.
It might be hard for you to keep the Passover and slaughter the lamb. It might be hard for you to do them things. But back here is what does Scripture say? His laws are not grievous. His laws are not grievous back here. We keep all the high holy days. It's easy. Easy, right? Now, what's next? All right, raising seed, right? Now, this one, a lot of people never heard of before, right? Right? But it's also a law, right? Right? It says, page 198. The surviving brother by the Mosaic law was to raise seed to a deceased brother who left a widow childless, right? To perpetuate his name and family, right? And inherit his goods and estate or be degraded. And if the issue he begat was a male child, it assumed the name of the deceased. Good night. It's as if, like, you know what? It's like it even proves about the regeneration. Like you come back through seed line. Right. The brothers are the same exact seed. So the brother is going back, right? The brother, and he says he's going to name him, right? Where it says, if the issue he begot was a male child, they assumed the name of the dead brother. Why? Because they must have understood something. They must have understood regeneration. They must have understood that child that came back was his brother, right? The Indian custom looks the very same way, yet is in this as in the law, their law of blood, the eldest brother can redeem. It's also like even in the scriptures, man. The Lord killed somebody. The Lord killed somebody for not doing that because he was supposed to. His brother to die. He's supposed to lay with the widow, right? His widow, right? But he did not. He did not want to. I can't say this the right way. He did not want to fulfill his duty for giving her a child. He was still do the act, but he never went all the way, right? The whole reason was to bring up your child, right? So he disobeyed the order. Lord killed him, right? All right, now. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 5. You got it? Good night.
Look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 5. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go into her and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. Verse 6. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel.
That's all it's about. Why? It's all about lineage.
Damn right.
It's all about the male's lineage. Don't ever let somebody tell you that it's not about. If it wasn't about lineage, it wasn't about one people, one nation. Let me tell you something. Why Christ had to come as a Jew?
Right.
Why did Christ have to come as a Jew? If Christ died for everybody, how come he didn't come as a Grecian?
Right.
Or African or something, man? It's all about lineage. The Most High is always about lineage and family. And that's why he had Adam. There was more families around when Adam was there, but he chose Adam. He chose Adam and brought Adam out the dust. Like Captain Yatadok said, Adam was the first man to be reborn.
Right.
All right. I'm not going to go too much off topic. All right. Yahushai, right? We're going to get into how they... Now, Yahushai, I'm going to just get into it. You went up yet? All right. All right. Wait till it get on the screen. Is it a voice back? Like, is it like my voice is delayed too, or is it just the picture? This is a picture? All right, no sweat. It says, before I can conclude this argument, I must here observe that when the Indians meet at night to gladden and unite their hearts before Yahweh, they sing Yahweh Shai, right? And you keep seeing it, right? With much energy, right? The first word is nearly in Hebrew. It's nearly in Hebrew characters. Yahweh Shai. Y'all see that? Yahweh Shai, right? That's Yahweh Shai in Assyrian Hebrew, right? It says the name of Joshua. Why Joshua? Because Joshua in the Old Testament, right? They got the Joshua and Yahweh Shai is the same thing. That's the same name.
Right.
Yahweh Shai is the Hebrew, which is also show you like how you get the translation Jesus.
Right.
How you get the translation Jesus if that's the exact same Hebrew? Hebrew. That means if anything, you should translate it to Joshua.
Damn right.
Man, these devils, man, I tell you. Or Savior. That's why they said Yahweh Shai, right? Now this time the Yahweh Shai, they wasn't in Israel, so I didn't know. Because they knew that a Savior was coming. Why? Because Christ was talked about in the law. The Messiah, the Christ was meant to come. The Savior, that's what they're saying. What Savior is in Hebrew? Yahweh Shai. Now these people are writing it in Yiddish because they don't know, right? They don't know. But why are they speaking Hebrew? Why are they speaking Hebrew and saying Yahweh Shai? The world today don't even know who Yahweh Shai is. We say Yahweh Shai at camp, people not gonna know what we talking about.
Right.
No nation know what we talking about. They're gonna say, oh, Yahweh, Yeshua, Jesus. That's what they're gonna say. So if this was a heathen people, why they know the exact name of a man to come? The Hebrew word for Savior. Why they know a Savior is gonna come in the first place? Good night, man. It makes me so angry because you got a lot of people out there, these fake Israelites, who they think that all the 12 tribes are Negroes.
Right.
And I believe you. I really believe you because Native Americans are Negroes too. Native Americans are niggas too. Just as much as I'm a nigga, Native Americans are nigga.
Right.
These people that go by color. We got people in the school. I tell you that he was from Gad. There was a Native American. You would never know. You won't even be able to know it. We got Officer Sean Napash, Officer Ron, Officer Tabawan. Who else you got? You got people from Reuben, Officer Tazadat. Look like what you would call a so-called Negro.
Right.
It don't matter about your skin color. It don't even matter about what you look like. It matters who your father is. Go ahead.
Shalaki, I'm Ephraim.
Good night. Look, Ephraim. We got Ephraim in the building. And realize when I say Native Americans, I mean the whole 10, right?
Damn right.
That's what was there.
Northern
Kingdom. He was there first.
Right.
You know how I know? Because he regenerate. This is my brother's land. This is my brother's land. The way he dwelt there. And that's why we go out there and fight so hard. And that's why it's so hard. It means something when you understand that what they did to your ancestors, they did unto you.
Right.
When they lynched your ancestors, they lynched you. When they raped your ancestors, they raped you.
That's right.
We still deal with that to this day. Post-traumatic slave syndrome, man. Is from all people they be like, man, who was you in your past life? Our personalities are like from a reason what we dealt with. Why brothers look at themselves the wrong way and stuff. We just dealt with so much trauma. So much trauma just from slavery alone, man. All right, where we at? The Sabbath. Good night. All right. It said the method of counting time by weeks or sevenths was a very ancient custom practiced by the Syrians, Egyptians, and most of the Oriental nations, right? And it evidently is a remain of the tradition of the creator indeed. Renewed to the Hebrews the old precept of sanctifying the seventh day on a particular occasion. And Christianity promoted that religious observance in the Western world and remembered of the work of redemption, right? The Greeks counted time by decades or tens. See, that's how they counted time. Decades or tens, right? And the Romans by nuns or nights. The number and regular periods of the Indian public religious feast, of which presently is a good historical prove that they counted time by and observed weekly Sabbath long after their arrival on the American continent. So what these people was doing? They wasn't doing what the oppressor said. I mean, not the oppressor, the fake Israelites say. You gotta cook the day before. Right. No cooking, no doing that. No, what else they saying? What else they say? Well, they didn't have microwaves at the time, but you get the gist. All the stuff that you did when you was coming to the knowledge and you was anything like me, the Sabbath wasn't a glorious day. The Sabbath wasn't a glorious day at all if you're doing it wrong, if you're not in the spirit, right? Now, these people had a Sabbath. Why? Because they're dwelling together. I mean, what? The Sabbath is rules for people who have servants, but you can't make that person work. Right. It's a rest day. It's my day of rest. That's what keeping it holy is. My rest day and to do good. To do good. That's why we go out on Sabbath and we prophesy. Like Christ said, it's not good to do the Lord's work on the Sabbath. Right. Right? Come on now, man. According to them, we can't go out and teach our people on the Sabbath. We can't go out and raise the dead on the Sabbath. We're supposed to stay at home, not turn on no lights, eat cold food, don't turn my coffee machine on. Right. No microwave, man. That's what make people don't want to serve God. Right. The fake Israelites, they make heathen culture better than their own culture. Damn right. Putting fringes on the bottom of your shirt. Who want to wear fringes on the bottom of their shirt? Right. Man, you be like, man, I'm gonna go wear this dashiki. This dashiki look better than fringes on the shirt. Real talk. Right. No, man, that's why in the ISUPK, you see us walk through. You be like, man, I don't know what they is, but I want to be like them. Right. Because why? We represent God. That's why you fake Israelites, they be having a Passover. You in their Passover, you like, man, I can't wait till Christmas come. Right. Our Passover is like 100 times, 100 folds better than Christmas. Damn right. You're gonna be like, man, I don't know why I even celebrated Christmas. You're never gonna want to go back into the world. Good night. Remember Exodus chapter 20, verse 8.
The book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Mm-hmm. And ye shall keep my statutes and do them. I am the Lord.
Wait, are you at 20 and 8? Exodus?
Slovakia.
No sweat.
The book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Right, keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy, keep it set apart, and keep it as a rest day. Make it a rest day. It's the Lord's day, right? Keep it rest. All that stuff you do, take a time back. Like if you want to fold clothes in your day, fold your clothes.
I'm right.
If you want to clean your house on your rest day, clean your house.
Right.
Dirty is the only day you get to clean your house. I know to a lot of women, cleaning is relaxing. Right. Folding clothes is relaxing. Right? Not to me. I don't expect for me to do that on my Sabbath day. But you want to go out to a movie? You want to go out there and buy you some food? Go ahead, right? All right, we're gonna talk about the culture they kept with the woman. Woman has certain rules too, right?
Damn right.
Right? Because ain't no what Christ said, neither male nor female, right?
Damn right.
All right. Of course, you see her with the fringes, the long hair, right?
Right.
All right. Page 6, the history of the American Indians, right? The women in general are of a mild, amiable, soft disposition, exceedingly modest in their behavior, and very seldom noisy, either in the single or married state. So these are women who kept themselves modest, humble. Now, how in one picture we just seen, you see the pictures of our people covered up, but in all the paintings, all women are all naked,
right?
Running around loose like some Africans. Come on, man, that's propaganda at its finest. We are not them people. Don't never let somebody tell you that there's those people, man. Right now, you look at the state we're in right now. Why? Because we are following the ways of the other nations. The white women go out there and it looks so much worse when we do it because we are just like our women look way better than their women. Yeah, right. So when their white women go out there with a thong and with a bra on, it don't look like nothing. You just turn your head, go. But all women go out there and that stuff is like, what is it? Turn heads. That's why they promote that in our women because they love seeing that. Yeah. They love seeing Megan Thee Stallion dressed like that. All these celebrities as a woman go like that. But what white woman you see being that's on top dress like that.
Right.
Even Beyonce was supposed to be one of the persons of the culture, the head of the game. Now she over there getting her butt done and all this stuff done. They destroyed our woman, man. It don't matter about how much money you got. It matters about if you separate or not. Because Beyonce don't love herself. She don't love the state that God wants her in.
That's right.
She don't. These other women don't. But modest women, they don't care about what nobody else thinks but God and their husband. As long as their husband goes the same way as God. Right? Now, Apocrypha Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and 14.
Like 26 and what?
14.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 26, verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, man. That's a gift that you have a silent and loving woman. Everybody who has a silent and loving woman, know that is a gift.
Damn right.
You know that you must be favored in the Lord's sight if you have that type of woman, man. And don't take it for lightly, right? Keep going.
Right. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Let me tell you something. It's nothing much worth more than that, man. Like having a wife that you know that's going to think how you think. That you know, if she goes somewhere, she's going to represent you when you go somewhere. That you don't have to bug her. I feel bad for the men out there that gotta check up on their wife every 24/7 to see what she's doing or doing different things, man. That is a headache. But all women, what? That's what the point. The point is that in a natural state, they left to be like that. So what does that tell you? The only reason why our women are the way they is today is because of America. It's because of other people's culture. That's why. White women go out there and have naked too, but nobody want to talk about them. And our people see that. That's why our women are admiring to be whores. Because America showed that whores get rewarded. Now, if we was living in a nation of ourselves, we say modest women get rewarded. What all the women want to be? Modest. Want to be modest, right? And you see what's happening. Cardi B is at the top of her career, and they had a video of her out there crying, talking about she just want to be a mother. It shows you that stuff that they get is in vain.
Damn right.
You want to be like Cardi B so bad, Cardi B don't even want to be like Cardi B.
Damn right.
I pray you understand. Page 130, right? The history of the American Indians. The non-observance of this separation, a breach of the marriage law, and murder, they esteem the most capital crimes. When the time of the woman's separation is ended, they always purify themselves in the deep running water, return home, dress and anoint themselves. They ascribe them these monthly periods to the female structure not to be corresponding to the Mosaic law of woman's purification after travel. The Indian woman absent themselves from their husbands and all public company for a considered time. So this is talking about when she gets her time of the month or cycle, they had to separate the woman. Why? Because she's unclean, right? See, America, they're not priests, they're not clean people, so they don't matter if somebody's unclean.
Damn right.
We did so much that our women were separated from us. Now you gotta go over there for a short time. Be unclean, right? Why? Because we had to keep clean for doing the work of the Lord. If these people wasn't of Israel, what's the whole point of them being unclean? It doesn't matter, right? No, we're gonna find this in the now every sister knowing the truth that when they know they get unclean, they can't come to class, they can't do this different stuff. Same thing with these people over here, they couldn't come to sacred grounds, right? I think it says in here. Oh, right here, look, it says by the Jewish law, but we all know what that means. Right? Women after a male birth were forbidden to enter to the temple, and even the very touch of sacred things 40 days, and after a female, the time of separation was doubled. That's straight out the law, man. That's what we do today. We still keep that law. All right. You gonna get Leviticus chapter 15, verse 19.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even.
Right.
Verse 20. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
Now, all women understand though, like wherever you sit at, if you're unclean, you can't sit on that spot again with somebody who don't want to be unclean. So if you're unclean and you sit somewhere and I go sit there, that makes me unclean, right? That's what it's saying. Of course, I know when you get unclean, you're unclean for 7 days, no matter if it ends early. Still, for 7 days, you're unclean. Let me see. Drop down. Is it talking about the verse 2? Leviticus chapter 12, verse 2. In the 8th day of the flesh. No,
that's about to see. That's about bear.
I was gonna get the one. You know the one that with the that talk about childbirth.
Yeah, that's that.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll read it.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 12, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of separation from her infirmity, she shall be unclean. Verse 3. And the 8th day of the flesh of the foreskin shall be circumcised.
Right, so that means our children on the 8th day shall be circumcised. And that's an amazing thing to have a child in the truth, man. To be able to circumcise them on the 8th day. Because even if you were circumcised, if it was on the 8th day, it was in vain.
Right.
That's why they was battling. That's why they was battling back then. That's why they was getting cut by the Spirit. Because they say, well, what should we do then? Should we go get circumcised? It's not gonna matter if you was to go get circumcised. It's not the 8th day. It doesn't matter if I was uncircumcised. I try to keep the law to go get circumcised right now. It didn't matter because I already broke the law. I already broke it. Right? I can't go back on my 8th day I was born and do it. Right? All right. Keep going.
Verse 4. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying there 30 days, and shall touch no hollow thing, or come into the congregation until the days of her purifying be fulfilled.
Right. So it said 3 and 30 days, so 40 days. Just like the Native Americans did. They understood. They did that, right? And of course, it was double with if she had a girl, right? But of the purifying 66, 80 days, right? All right, we're going to skip that. All right. This right here, this is perfect, right? This is what's going on right now. Page 38, right? It says, go ahead.
But I just had one thing to say on that. The reason it's, 40 days for a male and 80 days for if you have a girl,
right?
It's to remember Eve and remember what Eve did. That's why it's a longer,
right?
Because it's more responsibility raising up these women so we can
raise them
humbly to be wives. I mean, you don't want to raise them to be hated by whatever husband that they get.
Right. And then if I could touch on that, like even today, our men, they think they're gonna raise they don't even know how to raise wives.
Right.
It's as if that you go out there for a woman, but you don't want to raise your daughter to find a man.
Yeah, I'm right.
They go raise their daughters like men.
Right.
You can't raise your daughter like no man. You should raise your child you should raise your son to be a good husband.
Yeah, I'm right.
Raise your daughter to be a good wife.
Yeah, I'm right.
Right? You don't raise your daughter to become a man. That's why it takes two people it takes a two-parent household to raise a child.
Yeah, I'm right.
It takes a mother and a father. The father's disciplinary, the mother's a lover. The mother got to teach that good mother got to teach that daughter things that the father can't, and vice versa, right? Back here, we don't put one above the other. A single father. It's hard for a single father to raise a child just like a single mother.
Yeah, I'm right.
Right.
Damn right.
All right, page 38, the history of the American Indians. It says women are also ordered to have their heads covered in religious assemblies because of the presence of the angels. Good night. And to observe silence, the modest custom of of the eastern countries, the Indian sentiments and traditions are the same. They believe the higher regions to be inhabited by the good spirits. All right, so when they talk about the presence of the angels, that's exactly why y'all cover your head right now. Your head was the angels come down back and forth to give reports to protect our women. You get protected by knowing that what you will humbly being underneath the man.
Right.
You like, well, your head, why you need my help? You don't need a man. Your head ain't covered. You don't need no man. You need no protection. There's power on her head, right? That's what it symbols, right?
That's right.
Now, as you can see, we do that right now today. You come into the temple, you come for class, a woman covers her head.
Yeah, right.
Now, if you was in the world, you was a fake Israelite, or you was a Christian, whatever, you're not required to cover your head. You go out there, you go to your Sabbath, you go to shoot. I bet the fake Israelites on their Passover, their women got their heads uncovered and they unclean. Good night. Like I said, man, the Native Americans left to keep this, and just there's no like they left to keep the law. What's your excuse? We ain't telling you to go to Africa.
Right.
We ain't telling you to go move to Jerusalem, because the same laws you can keep in Jerusalem, you can keep right here until Christ get back. Same thing. That's how you gotta show. That's how you show that you really want to be saved from this salvation. That's how you show that you really love your brothers, that really love your sisters, by you keeping the law here. Keeping the law in captivity. Everybody forget that most of the prophets they was prophesying in captivity.
Damn right. Good
night. They don't know that. They don't know the Bible. They think every day the
night.
Christian pastors look at the Bible as everybody was in, and we was always in rulership.
Right.
Most of the Bible is up in captivity because that's how you know Israel, because we was a hard-headed people. You come save us and we got a boom, we go right back to where we started. And Lord is not a respecter of persons, man. He judged nations. And that's why the Lord got to judge Esau. He got to judge the Arabs. Why? He's going to judge them as a nation. Let me tell you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, Black, Hispanic, Native American woman, don't let one white person ruin your salvation. Real talk. It don't matter if you see one good one. Don't let them ruin what God has planned for you. Don't let them ruin. Don't make that without effect, man. In vain. You come and do all this, but that one friend that don't care about you, don't care about if you was to get murdered next day, stop you from getting that salvation. It might be hard for some people. Would you rather the oppressor die or your children get raped? Your children get molested? Your elders get shot down in a grocery store? Or let them perish by the will of God? That's what's going to happen, because as long as we don't want them to get judged, that's what's going to happen to our children. That's what's going to happen to us, and that's what's going to happen to our elders, our grandmothers, our grandfathers. They're going to stay getting gunned down, stay getting killed, stay getting raped, stay getting lynched, stay getting thrown in jail, just because you got one white friend, you don't want them to get judged. A lot of people leave the truth just because they found one good person and try to change the doctrine to save that person. Loving one white person I would disown everything my people went through. Would make everything my people went through without any effect.
That's right.
Would make it in vain. Loving one white person. One. That's why I don't trust you shouldn't even trust a white man that come out and love you, because he's a coward to his nation. Tell him to go love his own.
Yeah, right.
If you really love me, that white boy really love you, tell him leave you alone. That's how you show me love. Leave me alone and go love your own people. That's what I want for you. Right? And you know what he's going to do? He's not going to accept no wishes. Why? Because his whole mission is to keep you in sin, for God won't be on your side. That's why we can't identify the bad people. Within the bad people are only murderers. When that white boy who come over there and wants you to smoke drugs, he's just as a murderer as that one boy, because they both are making you sin. They both are wicked. We think wickedness is just murdering and lynching, but wickedness could be simply a white person being with the homosexuals, being a homosexual. We just keep on getting talked about with that words. The word. Matter of fact, that boy that then killed all them people, he was having a whole conversation with a black boy the day before.
Right.
The black boy then bought him a drink, bought him something.
Right.
But in his heart, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. That's why it's better than I'm not going to try to pick out the bad and the poisonous and non-poisonous snakes. Y'all all bite. Y'all all snakes, right? Go ahead.
And what you saying so heavy about these white people, like we have so much love for them, and they have so much disdain for us.
Right.
So when we was at Camp Friday,
Right.
there was a brother. He's trying to fist bump
Mm-hmm.
and holler at every white woman that come by,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, they was really looking down and disgusted on him. They didn't want to fist bump his hand, and he's over there looking for love. We standing right there offering love and protection.
Right.
And still, he didn't want to come over to us. He's mocking us, and he's trying to give love to them as they're giving absolutely no love to him.
Right. It's like man, give him a hand, man. Because it's like all people has become teacher pets. You know, yeah, that one person in school that's always just trying to please the teacher. When the class, the student is supposed to be on we supposed to be one. It's supposed to be us and the teacher. But you trying to please the teacher so much so, thinking that the teacher's going to do something good for you, might give you a better grade for working less. When you got to work the exact same hard to get that grade than we did.
Right.
So now we in America has become a people trying to be a teacher's pet for America. A black man going to switch sides because he thinks switching side is going to have American and white society on him. He's going to get benefit from being on our side when he's going to experience the same death and oppression as us.
Yeah, I'm right.
So why not be with us? Be with us and fight with us. For we could be the ones oppressing people.
That's right.
I want to be the ones oppressing people.
That's right.
That's what you should fight for. You switching sides is not going to happen. You switching sides is going to make you get destroyed with that side you chose.
Yeah, I'm right.
That's what's going to happen. All right. Where I'm at. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 5. We was talking about the woman being her head covered, right?
The book of 1 Corinthians,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 11, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesied with her head uncovered,
Right.
dishonor her head.
Right.
For that is even all one as if she were shaven.
Right. So if you a woman and you have you in class or you praying or you reading the scriptures, you are dishonoring your husband, dishonoring your head, right? For that even all one as if she were shaven. Why is it saying that? Because in the Bible, a woman was bald-headed for two reasons. One, when Israel used to go to war, right? The woman would cut her hair off to mourn, right? Because she would be dirty and all that stuff. Now we're not going to war no more. We under Christ now. All 12 tribes are under Christ. We're not going to war with one another. We are uniting for brotherhood, right? Now, so what that means, that you only going to get that having your hair shaven was also a curse. Like Jada Pinkett Smith, that was a curse on her head. Why? Because she was a woman who didn't respect her head.
Damn right.
She was a clamorous woman, right? She wasn't a humble woman, right?
Damn right.
And that's why the Lord cursed that. Why? The Lord said you want to be a man so bad, I'm gonna make you look like a man.
Damn right.
That's why a woman's hair is glorious. You got these women going around here trying to make it seem like having your hair bald is a good thing, trying to cover what they're really going through. But every woman knows that hair is a glorious thing. Having your hair is a glorious thing. No, so much so that a woman all their life will get worried about what they're gonna do to their hair.
Damn right.
Making hair appointments. Have one style one day, the next style another day. Why? Because they care about their hair. They take care of their hair. They got whole days just for washing their hair.
Right.
Just for washing, doing all that stuff. Right? And the Lord know that. That's why the Lord gave them beautiful hair.
Damn right.
Right? All right. Now we get into unclean food. Right? Unclean food. Let it show up a little bit. All right, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna let y'all see what I'm gonna read it right now. Page 140 in the history of the American Indians. It says, when swine were first brought among them, they deemed it such as a horrid abomination in any of their people to eat that filthy and impure food, that they excluded the criminal from all religious communion in their circular townhouse or in their quadrangular holy ground at the annual expiation of sins. So they knew what this food was. They be like, boy, get away with that. They seen these pigs, they treat it as like it's COVID-19.
Damn right.
That's how we should be doing right now. Well, I know right now I go to the store, I see the pork, I'm like, I can't even believe I ever ate something like that. You get nauseous in your stomach.
Right.
Real talk. You like, man, you start seeing the pictures, and that just shows you how much of a people how much of a wicked people people are that rule over us. Like, you gotta be wicked enough, and it's not to give it to us before you eat it yourself.
Yeah, right.
I should trust you based on if you eat pork or not. Real talk. If you love pork, man, get away with me, dog. Something must be wrong with you. Something must be wrong with your spirit to eat an animal like that. All the stuff you can eat. You chose to eat this. The thing that you see eating in its own feces. The thing that you see this love being in mud that don't sweat. You chose this, and you enjoy it. Good night. Bacon is like America's favorite food. That's what represents America. That's what they put on high. Why? Because bacon represents wickedness. America is built off of wickedness. Right? I'm not gonna read all this. Okay, let me see. After the yearly atonement was made at the temple, he was indeed remitted to his usual privileges. Formerly, none of their beloved men or warriors would eat or drink with us on the most preserving invitation through fear of polluting themselves. They deemed us such impure animals, or eating the flesh of swine and venison with gravy in it helped to rivet their dislike for this they reckon as blood. So they wasn't eating blood. They wasn't eating blood either. They wasn't eating things with blood in it as well. And they wouldn't even eat with these people, right? I realized this man is sitting amongst them, so this is the heathen. He said he wouldn't even eat with these people. The Native Americans wouldn't even eat with these people. Why? Because they scared they're going to have pork in it. Just like when y'all go to somebody's house who's not in the truth, you be like, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait till I'm going to go home to eat. I'm not even going to take the chance.
Damn right.
You're like, but we didn't put no pork in it. You be like, it just, I'm not going to. You be like, man, what meat you put in there? You be like, some sausage. You be like, what type of sausage? Sausage. They don't even know they got different sausages. Right. You like, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. And that's why we spend our whole life trying to find out different foods. Why right now we got turkey sausage. I mean turkey pepperoni now. Yep. Right? And we tried them different. We got to go through all these different things just to keep the law. Just to eat. When you could go into the Middle East right now, they can have stuff for them. What they call the halal. Right. Good night. You gotta be careful with them because they said they could eat pork if they're hungry, if they starving. That's their God. Our God said, man, you better keep the law or you're gonna die. Fear the man that can kill the body and the soul. Don't fear the man who just killed the body. Go ahead.
No, you're right what you're saying, because all right, so there was this one Muslim cat that he from Jerusalem, but he's Palestinian.
Good night.
So we had this little food at the slave. And he's digging through the green beans. And I told him, I said, there's pork in there. Like, you see the bacon on top. And if I would have standing behind him, he would have grabbed them green beans. Right. Because I told him about 3 times, like, hey, Muhammad, I know you see that bacon. Even my rib. Said it. My rib said, I know he see that bacon on top of there. It's right. It's a lot.
Man, Muslims are Christians, man. But they say it's not what go in the body of the Father, man, but what come out. Man, let me tell you something. Muslims back in the day used to have reputation. They used to mean something back then. Right. Today, man, Muslims don't have nothing. You would see a Muslim eating pork, you like, man, I knew it. They don't even. They gonna be that two-piece suit with that bow tie, selling them bean pies, and going home later to get that pork. Good night. He gonna say I'm hungry. I was hungry. I was starving. This just like Christians. I mean, I know that's pork. I know that's shrimp. But would the Lord let me starve? Right. Why would the Lord put it right in front of my face if He didn't want me to eat it? Why would He create the animal if He didn't want to let me eat it? That's how simple people are, man. Let me tell you something, man. Not all animals are food. And the only people who know that are the children of Israel, because we're the only people who got the law, statutes, and commandments. And we know that. Other people don't know that. You know how I know? Because the Chinese, they done ate bat and opened COVID-19. I think Ebola was something about eating monkeys or something. We have wisdom and knowledge amongst the nations. Let me tell you something. If we as a people just went back to our law, statute, commandments, these other nations would kill themselves. This is about the foods they eat. We let America, white America, they gonna die from high blood pressure. All the bacon they eat, whatever you get from bacon, right? You got the Chinese gonna die from just giving themselves COVID, from eating bats and monkeys and all these different things. People eating shrimp, shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. That's why the ocean is bad right now. The ocean is bad because you eating all the filters. The Lord has set these places up for them to clean the earth, and you done eating them. You done eating the oysters, and that's what's wrong with America. America is gonna make everything that's bad, everything that's against God, and deem it as good. It's gonna deem it as good. That's why you go right now. I don't know why is lobster so expensive. It's a delicacy. You got if you eat a lobster, you got money. Let me say. Good night. Good night. Look, we black people get a little money. They're trying to die to go eat some caviar because they didn't deemed it as good, man. All right. It said, you got some precept or something? All right.
Let me just find
All right, I got you. I'm gonna read this a little bit right here. It says, I once asked the archnagus to sit down and partake of my dinner, but he excused himself, saying he had in a few days some holy duty to perform, and that if he eat evil or cursed food, it will spoil him. Good night. He like, man, I'm not finna eat with you, dog. Look at the food y'all eat. I got some things to do. I got to teach class. I got this holy thing to do, man. I can't mess with y'all, man. Right? And that's just the people. That's one thing we should understand, though. Like, this was what you've seen is about to be the downfall of these people by letting these people even be around them. See them be like, bro, you in my land. Like, don't come in my house and bring pork into my house.
Right.
Don't come over here and you say you're gonna cook for me, then you bring in all these abominations in my house. And this same thing they're doing, they know that people must like you said they're gonna know that this means something to us and still gonna do it because you know who he was. The whole reason that was there is because we just read Columbus knew where he was going. Good night. Columbus was supposed to be a Jew. He's not supposed to be eating that stuff. These people came down there. All these people came down there and started eating all these different things. That's what they did. They done destroyed the land. They had to entice us with these different foods. They had to take the weak people out, divide and conquer. That's what they do right now. That's why we go out and battle in the streets. Most of the time, it's all people coming up to us. The weak of the society. That's when Christ got to get back. He's only going to save those who want to be saved. Only going to save those who want to be saved. Right? Now, we got that precept you was finding?
Yeah, it's like
all right,
it's just
go
heavy
ahead.
what you're saying, like not to eat this even when you're hungry.
Right.
So this is 1 Kings chapter 17. I'm gonna start it too.
Mm-hmm.
It said, "And the word of the Lord came to him, saying," let's talk about Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
"Get thee hence." Verse 3, "Get thee hence and turn thee eastward and hide thyself from the brook Cherith there before Jordan."
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4, "And it shall be that you shall drink of the brook. I have commanded thee the ravens to feed thee there."
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5, "So he went out and did according to the word of the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and he went and dwelt in the brook that is before Jordan." Verse 6, "And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank from the brook." Now, he didn't eat the raven.
Mm-hmm.
He waited for the raven to bring him, because eating the raven would be
Good food.
unlawful.
Right.
You
Unlawful.
know? So the raven bringing him the
Food.
bread, that was lawful. So
Right.
you don't just go eat anything because
Right.
you're hungry, because the Most High will provide.
Right. Like the Most High, like he said, like Most High said he feed the birds.
Damn right.
He feed the birds. How much more do you think you worth to him?
That's right.
He's gonna feed you. You worry about not getting fed. He feed the birds. You don't hear the birds going around here trying to start eating all kinds of crazy stuff. He's gonna feed you. He's gonna feed you something that's lawful. Right?
Damn right.
Even Peter had a whole dream. Right? He's like, not me, Lord. I never ate anything uncommon or unclean.
Damn right.
He knew, like he in his dream, he know that's something right.
Right.
He knew that dream was something deeper than what it was.
Damn right.
Right?
Damn right.
All right. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
"And the swine, though he divided the hoof,
Mm-hmm.
and be cloven footed,
Mm-hmm.
yet he cheweth not of the cud. He is unclean to you."
Right. It says, in the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. So what it's saying is like, even though he has one of these things, he don't have the other. Why? Because we only eat certain animals that divide the hoof and cheweth the cud.
Damn right.
Right? He said, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh, you read the 8?
No.
Read 8.
Verse 8, "Of their flesh shall he not eat,
Mm-hmm.
in their carcass shall you not touch.
Right.
They are unclean to you.
A carcass is what? A dead body. Nah, they unclean. You're not supposed to touch the dead carcass of that animal. If you can't touch the dead carcass of the animal, how can you even eat the animal?
Right.
How can you even eat it? You gotta kill the animal first. You gotta move it dead. It's dead now. So how you gonna get the meat off if you can eat it?
Right.
Good night, man.
Soaring through the prices in the store.
It's good night. Them people right now. Now we're gonna get into one of the good ones, man. We're gonna get into fringes. Everybody know Native Americans have fringes, but since the church teaches that the law is done away with, we never put two and two together that the fringes was a law, right? Wearing fringes was our culture, right? And not only that, it was our culture. It looked good. Well, it looked good, man.
Damn right.
All right, let me see this picture gonna jump up here. Damn, man, this thing's taking forever. It's on there? Mm-hmm. Oh, no sweat. So you see the man right there, right? Got fringes on. So it look like something I would wear, right? Put my fringes right there. You don't see him got fringes on the end of his t-shirt. You don't see him wearing a purple t-shirt with gold fringes on the bottom. You don't have IUIC on the top right of his chest either, right?
Right.
You don't see that, right? You see it look fly. It look like somebody want to be like.
Yeah, I'm right.
It look good. Ooh-wee. He looked like he represents the Lord. He looked like the Lord gave him that wisdom to put the fringes right there. Ain't no other nation know how to put fringes right there, man.
Damn right. Damn right.
Nobody would do that. This ain't the people of the Lord to put fringes. You know that the Lord ain't give you the Lord. You ain't the Lord priests and prophets. And he never put the wisdom to you because he said he will give the knowledge unto his servants. If you put in fringes on the bottom of his shirt, good night. You ain't got the secrets. You ain't got the secrets, but hey, you could come into school and get the secrets, man. Because the only reason why we got the secrets is because we followed a man the Lord put in charge, commanding Juliana.
That's right.
And that's why we know what to do, right? Lord always had one man he had in charge. Show me who that man is today. If it's not commanding Juliana, show me who it is. Matthew 7:20 said you could tell a tree by the fruit it bears. Right. We've been here for 1969. Give us one allegation or something.
Right.
One girl getting murdered.
Right.
Africans in our congregation. Come on, man. This place of the Lord. It should be blasphemy to say that you of the Lord and allow all those things to happen. Right? But back to the fringes, though. It looked good, man. Right?
Right.
All right. This too, right? Give me Numbers chapter 15, verse 38.
Just the book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 38. Speaking to the children of Israel, and bid them that they make fringes in the borders of their garments,
right,
throughout their generations.
Throughout their generations, not just the third generation, not today, at the generations. This is our culture. When you start looking at the law as the culture, it becomes where you understand the spirit of everything. You understand? People that letter the law, people they go out there and wear their fringes 24/7. The reason why they got to put on the shirt. So you telling me you break the law when you take your shirt off and you go in the shower?
Right.
Good night. Keep reading.
And they that put fringes of the borders in the ribbon of blue.
Look at this, man. This is a sister, right? I believe it's a sister. At the pow, you know what powwow is? The Native Americans they have the powwows done. In their ignorance, what are they doing? They're keeping the culture of their ancestors.
Right.
You see the border of blue.
Damn right.
Look at this. And that's why it's so important that we keep our culture, because these are people in the ignorance, looking like this, man, looking glorious. Like what other nation could do something like this if it's not given to them by God? Only knowledge given to by God will make somebody be able to do this, man. You understand? Right? Now, all right, now we finna go into the artifacts found for all the stuff I just brought out. If you don't believe that it's still there, we're gonna read into how they even. We already talked about how the Hebrew. They spoke Hebrew. They were saying Yahushua, right? Last time I checked, Yahushua is Hebrew. Right? They didn't say Jesus. They didn't say Joshua. They said Yahushua, right? They knew they was coming for a savior, right? The whole reason why they came over here was to keep their law. Right? The Bible facts checks everything. Bible facts checks everything. Nothing facts checks the Bible, right? Even historians, great historians, look at the Bible to see what they found is accurate, right? Now, this is the Decalogue, right? In November of 1860, David Wyrick of Newark, hopefully I said that right, Newark, Ohio, found an inscribed stone in a burial mound about 10 miles south of New York. New York?
Newark.
Good night. Newark.
That's Jersey. Jersey.
Good night.
Newark.
The stone is inscribed on all sides with a condensed version of the 10 Commandments or Decalogue in a peculiar form of a post-exilic square Hebrew letters. So this is Assyrian that's around it. Assyrian, right? The robed and bearded figure on the front is identified as Moses in letters spanning over his head. So it says Mashah, right? Over his head.
That's right.
It means Moses.
That's
from
right.
water, right? That's what his name, right? I mean,
damn right.
Why do they have this? Why they found this? And these people are not Hebrews.
Right.
Why are they speaking in Hebrew if they're not Hebrews?
Right.
Come on, man. This is amazing seeing stuff like this and seeing that they even honor their ancestors, honor their forefathers. You know what I'm saying? And it's so heavy, they left. They got the 10 Commandments on there. Why? Because of what? The law of Moses. They left where they was at to come over here to do what? Keep the law. The law was very important to them. Very, very important to them, man. Now, another one. There's another one, man. It's the keystone. All right? Wait till it pop up right here. It's on the phone? All right, it says several months earlier. Good night, that thing. Several months earlier, in June of 1860, Wirik had found an additional stone, also inscribed in Hebrew letters. This stone shown above is popularly known as the keystone because of its general shape. Now, with the first things you've seen on it, and they people in the Yiddish, they say this. What it's saying, they're saying is Holy of Holies, which is Kodash Kodashim.
That's right.
Right? King of the earth, Malak or Roth, right? This one's saying Torah, Yahweh, right? The other one is the word of God, right? Is on there? All right. See it? See the Hebrew on the keystone, right? On different sides. I should have had more pictures, but you see it. And this is stuff they found. Why? Because these people spoke Hebrew.
That's right.
Spoke Hebrew, and through time they had to go. They literally had to. These people. It's like the same stuff happened with all the curses happened with all of us, right? Like they had to teach us English. They want to make it seem like we didn't know we was illiterate. They had to teach us how to talk. No, we just spoke a different language.
That's right.
We spoke a different language, and Hebrew is like a language of it's like a masculine language. Like it's simple, like woman, come here. That's how they talk. So these talk about how the slaves talk. They miss certain words how people today talk. Right.
Right.
Now we had to learn English, right? Now, then the Native Americans, they had concentration, just like they had like camps. But they had not camp. I won't say camps. They had to go to boarding schools. And if they didn't speak the English, they would beat their heads in. If they could not, none of them said they didn't speak the English. They went to boarding schools to learn the English. They would shave off their hair, put them in nice tuxes. I'm not gonna say nice. They put them in tucks, right? Took away all their fringes and everything, right? And what they did, if they couldn't get the English fast enough, they would beat their heads in. They would beat them. And beat them, right? I think that's the last. Let me see. All right. Yeah, so that's pretty much it with the Native Americans, proving that the Native Americans are Israelites. Another thing I wanted to show is that the big old, the scriptures talk about how a priest should always have a headpiece on. We go do holy stuff. We should always have a headpiece on, right? Now, when you see the Native Americans, what you see on their head? The big old feathers, right? Right, but their head was always uncovered. Let me tell you something, man. The 12 tribes of Israel, it don't matter what color it look like, it goes by who your father is. The Native Americans are Israelites. The 10 tribes that was here, Matter of fact, the Mayans, right? That word comes from Maya, means water, right? In Hebrew. Because they came from where? Across the waters. Good night. Hebrew such a good this amazing language. The Lashon Kadas, man, is a language of our forefathers, a language that was stolen from us, right? So it should, we should want to learn it. Learning it made us realize who these people was. We wouldn't even able to know what this was talking about. We never knew the Lashon Kadas, right? All right. Any questions? No questions? No. All right. We're gonna do I'm gonna get the security announcements first, right? I need to get this more better. You got the security announcements? Okay. I'm gonna get that holy day. Okay.
All right. We're the ISUPK. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. Mm-hmm. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother and sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak. To speak to the brother and sister. There is another 6 months where the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3 and 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of every increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund, a free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
We have the Feast of First Fruits. It starts after the Sabbath, unleavened bread, sundown, Saturday, April 23rd. You're going to count 50 days. We're going to celebrate the 50th day, which will be Sunday, June 12th, and we're going to start before sundown. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10 to 22.
Akiyam and Aqua. Check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. I pass the class back over to priest and officer Gadawan.
All right, we can stand. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer. The East is over here, right?
Yep.
It's right here. The Lord's Prayer real quick. I'm not going to do too loud. All right, just repeat after me. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shamkah. Yahweh. Malakwathka. Taba'ah. Watazayaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Nathan. Banawa. Lakam. Kal. Yawam. Wasalaknawa. Kawawatnawa. Kasalaknawa. Kawawatinawa. Wala'a. Tabaya'anu. Banasayawan. Abal. Hawashanawa. Ra. Kaya. Yaka. Hamalakwa. Wahala. Wahatapara. Lawayayum. Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom,
because thine is the kingdom,
and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right, sisters, you can sit. We're gonna do a courteous salute to the brothers. All right, Majum Shabbat, Majum Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat.
All right, Majum Ta. All right, sisters, you can stand. Turn to the sisters. All right, Majum Shabbat, Majum Barak. Yahweh Shema Ta'ala Hashem Yahushua. Yahweh Mata. I dismiss.